Hey everyone, welcome to the Chain Out Fantasy Disc Golf League episode 10, event 11.
Yes.
I'm joined as always on my right by this lovely guy, Jeremy. How are you doing?
Doing good, Daryl. Excited for the last event of our Canadian A-tier fantasy picks.
Yeah, I'm excited that we've hit all 11.
Yes.
We stuck to our guns. We said we were going to hit all 11 events. We did. Actually, in the beginning, we said 10 events because they kept adding them as we were going through the event. I think we said 9.
It was 9 at one point, yeah.
Yeah. But we made it through. We were at the 11th event. And
well, I just want to say,
a little bird tells me that...
So all those people who said I couldn't finish something, I'm proving them wrong right now.
There you go. A little bird tells me that you really don't like the fact that I'm out in front and I might be winning. And Team Shambles by name, Team Shambles definitely not by nature. That you were going to bring in a ringer to try and take me down in this last event.
Yes, I did, because I know with my one win under my belt, I've got no chance at this thing. But Team Guest Invite does. So I went out there and I tried to do my magic, sweet talked as best as I could. And I went out, and not only did I find an MPO player who knows all these players, I found an Ontario MPO player in Chris Ozolins. So welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's a pleasure being here.
Is that just setting you up for fail? Is that putting too much weight on your shoulders? I feel like, to give you that sort of intro, you've got a lot to live up to now.
What? I bet you I could tell you most every disc in every one of these players' bags playing this
tournament.
Wow.
So
yes,
challenge accepted.
And you know the course, you know the players, you know the... Oh, man.
I co-designed one of the courses, too. So
right.
You might be in trouble this week. We'll see.
Couldn't get a better guest on the show.
Well, the thing is, Chris, is we've interviewed a lot of people from Ontario, including Brooklyn Okrafka, for example, and your name comes up over and over again, whether it's Chris Ozolins, whether it's Oz, whether it's Ozzy, whatever it is, your name comes up. So I knew if we were going to Ontario, you were the person to contact.
I'll do my best.
Perfect. But before we jump too far ahead, Jeremy, how about we recap the last episode?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, episode 9, event 10 was the Discmania Open. And let's just bring up our picks here from that episode. Look at that, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was your worst performance of the year, I think. Hey, Team Shambles?
Looking down at the bottom there, Team Shambles came last with 7 points. Team J-Pal with 9 points. And Brendan, Team Living in a Fantasy World, took down the win for Guest Invite. They actually took the win with 10 points.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Jeremy. Now, what did the tournament wins do? So because they took down the win, Guest Invite now goes to 5. Team Shambles has 7 wins. Team J-Power just hanging on to that one in last place.
And if you add those all up, you'll realize that they add up to more than 11, and we're not even done the 11th A tier, but that's because there was a tie for first, and each team got a point for that. So
there you go. Way to clarify. So if you add those original points, the 10, 7, and 9, to all the points that we've done throughout the season so far, Team J-Pow bringing up the rear, but getting closer with 84 points. Team Guest Invite with 91. And it's getting close towards the end, Jeremy. I thought I would be a runaway winner, but only 10 points in the lead right now with 101, which I'm happy that I broke 100 points.
Yeah, and we should throw that to Chris. So, Chris, now you can see it right up in front of you. What you got to do is you got to get 10 more points than Daryl. So we really got to try and stonewall him and make sure he's picking outside the top 10.
Oh, boy. Has there ever been a 10-point deficit in scoring for a week? Is that even possible?
Well, if it was me. That's for sure.
That's the issue. And one of the good points that we should bring up is, I'll just bring up the rules here, but this kind of applied in the earlier season. So if your pick gets on the win, they'll get 5 points. If they get on the podium, they get 3 points. And if any of our picks finish in the top 10, they'll get 1 point. So when in a regular full event, we would pick 3 MPO, 3 FPO. Mm-hmm. That would be for 22 points maximum. But because in this field, it's a little bit of a reduced field in the FPO field, we are going to be picking 3 MPO and 2 FPO, which I believe is 19 points.
Yeah, so 19 max.
So 19 points maximum if both your MPO and FPO picks get in first place and your other picks get on the podium. So is there a possible for 10-point deficit? I don't know. Maybe if you can. I mean, this guy. If anyone knows the players and knows, it's almost like an inside job. I'm feeling pressure here, Jeremy. Yeah.
So,
But going on that, what we should say is prior to recording the podcast here, we did decide. We put it up to the guest of which order that we would do the snake draft in. And that's the strategy right there. The strategy comes into play of if you want that first pick, or do you leave somebody have the 3-4 pick, and then if not, you go middle, second, and sixth pick. So it's a lot of strategy. And Chris, do you wanna just let everybody know what order you decided that we would go picking in?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the guest pick first. Then we're going to go with Jeremy taking second, and then Daryl will bring up the rear taking the third, and then fourth pick as well.
Yeah.
Strategy wise, I thought there was maybe a clear winner to pick, and then it got a bit fuzzy from there. But I could be wrong.
yeah, anything can happen at these events, and it is. Yeah, we found that with some of the other ones, and sometimes too with how you make your picks. Like these players, I think you know them quite well, so you're gonna have that inside knowledge. But we've had guests come on and pick with their heart Miles Ladder, and that was great because the people felt very supported by Miles, but it wasn't necessarily the ones that were getting him the points. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Not that I need to give you any tips or anything like that, but I guess if I had to give, and not just me, but any tips for anybody that comes on the fantasy podcast next year is try not to pick with your heart. If you want to win, as much as you don't want to disappoint your friend by not picking them, make sure you pick the people that you actually think they're going to finish on the podium or at least in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, now, before we get right into it, Chris, and make these picks, maybe you can help us a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about the tournament. So the tournament, from what I've got, I'll give you this part, and then you tell us some more, is it's taken place at Bondi Cottage Resort out in Dwight, Ontario, kind of in the Muskoka region. That's where the Ontario Provincials are. What else can you tell us either about the courses or anything else about the event?
Okay, Bondi, the course there is Wolf Tracks. It was designed by Fluent Disc Golf. He'll love us mentioning that. Kevin Farley there. It is a definite championship level course, heavily wooded. About 2/3 of the course is in the woods, so it does limit distance potential on some of the holes. Wink, wink. Other than that, though, to complement that, the pros are also playing the Huntsville Downs Temp Golf Course. It's an annual setup that we bring out. It's almost 10,000 feet, par 67.
Ooh.
And distance is a major advantage out on that course. So if that influences any of your decisions moving forward, that might help.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that sounds awesome. And it seems too, from what I could look at, is not every province actually has a provincials like Ontario does. So it's something that you guys are doing really well. So am I right that what happens is you play other events throughout the year that are Ontario provincial qualifier type events, and then you can get an invitation to go, or how does it quite work?
Yeah, we have an application for events to come on board as Ontario Tour events during the year. So we do that at the beginning of the year. We had 17 of them. They're also funded by the ODSA. We do a big fundraiser raffle at the beginning of the season. I'm sure you've seen me post this in all the Canadian Facebook groups. But so these 17 events qualify the top 3 in each division to participate in our provincial championship at season's end. This is kind of a requirement we're a provincial sports organization, the Ontario Disc Sports Association. And so to develop that competitive continuum, we're asked to build a tour, something like this. And we found it's quite successful, and it adds a little bit of depth to the season along the way. So
nice.
We enjoyed it.
And have you just won too many of these tournaments that's probably why you're not participating in this specific one? Or
I'll tell you this. Shout out to my friend Cody Van Hevel, who lives in Sterling Heights, Michigan. He is getting married on Friday, and I am in his wedding party. Couldn't have chosen a better weekend, but so I'll be out there at the wedding. Unfortunately, missing the first day of the event because it does begin on Friday. But I'm headed up to Huntsville to help for the remainder of it. And I'm looking forward to honestly to watching some battles over the weekend. So you don't have to play everything; it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Gets a bit boring when you play everything and win all the time.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, Chris, with that being said, why don't you, if you're ready and your team and or should we go? You go ahead.
There's one thing that we have to decide. I apologize for not asking you earlier, but we've got Team Shambles and we've got Team J-Pow. The guest invite always comes up with their own team name. So sorry to spring it on you here at the last second, but if you don't want to give it to us now, you can give it to us anytime through your team if you have it
I've got a team name. I'm going to go with, and I put this on my CTP markers
Okay.
to try to disguise who actually has it, because I feel like sometimes if I put my real name on a CTP, I don't get the benefit of the doubt when we're measuring. So I'm going to go with Team Bobby Starbucks, because that's what I use on my CTP markers.
That's awesome. Team Bobby Starbucks. I love it.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Team Bobby Starbucks has a whole group around them that's crunching numbers and working on all of this. But whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'm going to go with first pick in the fantasy draft for the Ontario Provincial Championship. Big Maple, Thomas Gilbert to take down MPO.
Perfect.
Oh.
That is a great pick. And I'm going to say, Thomas is 1014 rated right now after the last rating jump. He's fourth highest rated MPO in Canada at the moment. And, he was just posting some of his stuff from being down at USDGC. I saw a video with him and Taylor Chosick once again throwing huge discs as far as you could tell. And I saw him do that at Nationals. So I think when you were talking about this long course, Thomas has got to be a great pick, Chris, for sure.
I think it'll play to his advantage. He also elevates when it comes to nationals and provincials. He wants those titles. So.
Yeah. Big Maple, great pick.
Yeah.
Are you getting nervous, Daryl?
You know what? That is not that is not my first pick.
No.
No.
Okay.
Not giving you too much of my strategy, but I mean it's a great pick. I mean, I think he's guaranteed. Not necessarily guaranteed, but yeah, definitely one of the favorites to win the MPO side. So.
Seems like you're stumbling there, Shambles, but that's okay. So
All right.
Team JPOW is happy to be participating in this event again. We've worked really hard. We've looked at all the different players that are going to be there. One of the things we've done is we've interviewed this player, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
They've been on the show a couple times.
Okay.
Just ripping it up this year so far. Ripping it up at the rip. I'm actually starting my picks with an FPO player. Just came back from Throw Pink. Her first experience there. She's going to be ready to just kill it at Ontario Provincials. 908 rated, up 9 points from Westport, Ontario. We're going to welcome Rebecca Dawn to Team JPOW. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Solid pick.
It's a good pick. Again, not my first pick, so I think I might be getting away with my first two picks here.
Well,
not necessarily, because I think Thomas would have been my second, but... Okay, so that hands it over to me for the 3-4 pick.
yes.
All right. So, with my first pick, I'm going to move over to the FPO division.
All right.
I'm going to pick somebody from Windsor, Ontario, currently 941 rated, currently coming off a fantastic Throw Pink event, ending up tied for 9th of that event, was on lead or chase card the whole round. Team Shambles would like to welcome Miss Chantel Bedinsky.
Miss Frisbee's coming
Miss
out
Frisbee's.
for your first pick. What do you think, Chris?
I think it's a fantastic pick. I just played a tournament where Chantel threw the second hottest round of the tournament period, and I think went home with a 1,015 rated round.
Oh, wow.
You can't go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the only thing I was wondering about, and this is great, Chantel, is that, you got 1,250 sweet US dollars in your pocket from Throw Pink. And you and Chris, maybe you guys want to just take a vacation, have a few beverages, and just enjoy yourself. And hopefully it's not a hangover when you come back to Ontario
Now you're
Provincials.
saying that.
Oh, she's got a title to defend, too. She was last year's winner at the Ontario Championship. So.
Oh, yeah.
There
So
you
she's
go.
going to be showing up
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She put it out on her Instagram. She's happy that she put 3 consecutive good rounds together. Let's make it 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so for Team Shambles' second pick, 4th overall, we're going to go with somebody from Niagara Falls, Ontario, a previous guest of the show. We made a big deal about him getting over his 1,000 rated, but on the recent update, he increased again by 6 points, up to 1,007, 139 career events with 27 wins. Team Shambles would like to welcome Cam Zanini.
Good pick.
Yeah. Chris, because we're from Alberta and we're out west, we weren't really familiar with Cam. And then we had him on the show and we were like, yeah, this guy's on our radar because this guy is just kicking butt out there in Ontario every time we see him at a tournament.
Yeah. Another disc golfer with a positive attitude. Like, great guy to talk to. We had him on the podcast, like we said.
So funny as well.
Yeah, so funny. Great guy. Glad, I think any of our listeners were so happy that once he finally made it over that 1,000 marker again, that he was struggling to get over this year. But yeah, I think Team Shambles is looking pretty good. Back to you, Team J Pal.
And so you pat yourself on the back if you will yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to say, Chris?
I'll just give you a comment on Cam. He's one of my favorite guys to play with out there. He is cool as a cucumber, joking the entire round, never that upset about anything. And, that composure has definitely led to that rating. So
perfect.
For sure. So back to Team J-Pow with my second pick. I'm going to finish off my FPOs early. This player has been on the show as well, and I got to meet her in person at Canadian Nationals. Although we'd never really seen each other before, as soon as our eyes locked, it was big hugs and happy and all of these things here. And she got second place at Nationals, 931 rated, out of Burlington, Ontario. We're welcoming Colleen McInnes to the team. Yeah, you guys can... I know your jaws have just dropped and you're speechless, but...
That's a good pick.
You need like a clapping noise, crowd noise, so we can just play that.
Now it's time for now it's
that one.
There we go. Yeah.
There
Great pick.
Yeah.
Solid pick. Colleen's from the same club I am in Oakville, and just absolutely destroys during league rounds and tournaments. I would not be surprised if she won this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely a strong pick. All right, so that sends it back to Bobby Starbucks.
Bobby Starbucks
for 2 picks.
Interesting. So I think I am going to hop down and grab an FPO player before they're all gone. I'm going to go with, from Toronto, Ontario, big distance player, so I think that's going to play to her advantage for this, Alexandra Paletto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I observed on that was she first hit our radar with the Foxwood Open when she was there, and she had won the Christie Lake Spring Fling. And it kind of feels like, just like Rebecca, Alex is having a breakout year this year too, because she was second at the RIP. And then, and she was playing, I think this is her first year really jumping into FPO, and it's turning out really good for her.
Absolutely. She's a collegiate volleyball athlete too. She's tall, massive hands, and just a student of the game. She's got the skills, all the tools to win, and we'll see if she puts it together.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's a great pick.
So my next pick now. I am going to, I think, I got my screen open here, but mixed. I think that MPO division's pretty deep, and there are a few people to pick from there. So I think I'm going to stick to FPO to make sure that we get 2 podium spots here.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with Thought Space teammate and Child of the North as well, Alicia Hums.
Yes. You know what? You're almost picking them in the order that I had on mine there, Bobby Starbucks. So
I don't know if should I be worried?
Well, I guess if it was mine, is that a jab, eh? You
like
this guy?
It. I like it. Yeah.
Well, we saw that win total. I'm just saying.
That's a fair point. But yeah, like with Alicia too, she's won her last 2 tournaments and she was 4th at the RIP. And I'm thinking too, she's a teacher. Am I right? Is that what she does in her day job? So if she's back at school and she's dealing with kids all day, she needs an outlet, and Ontario Provincials could just be that outlet.
Even better, she's a teacher at a correctional facility, so
she
really needs an outlet.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, coming back to Team J-Pow, I'm now just down to my 3 MPO picks, and I've been watching this young gentleman get so close so many times this year, and I think it's his turn to win, and why not the Ontario Provincial? So I've got a 983 rated player, up 5 points, from Elmer, Ontario, played 15 events this year, just finished 3rd at the Discmania Open, and the only reason that happened was because he had a tough round for 5 holes. Otherwise, he was right there with Dylan Gowdy and giving him a run for his money. Ezra is not going to make the same mistake this go around, so why don't we just bring him onto the team? Ezra Lockington.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the clapping. See?
There you
More
go.
clapping.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Big distance thrower too. So I think that's you're on the spot there.
You've picked him a few times now, Jeremy.
Yeah, and he's always right there,
Yeah.
and it's going to pay off this tournament.
Yeah. Good
Am
for
I
you.
able to donate my points if I want to?
Maybe in season 2.
Oh, okay. I was thinking,
Yeah.
Chris, maybe I could do swaps, like mid-tournament. Are swaps allowed maybe later on?
Yeah, we can do trades for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Let's get through the picks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sends it back over to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Team Shambles.
Oops. Okay. So, with my next pick, I already have one FPO and one MPO. So, I am going to pick, once I figure out who it is going to be.
See, Team
Where am
Bobby
I?
Starbucks, this is why Shambles was created. He's got the best laid plans, and then it's off the cuff all of a sudden.
Okay, so this person is from Sudbury, Ontario. A 986 rated player. Just coming off a win at the Wolfcat Classic and also a win at Riverside Rumble 3. Placed 31st at the RIP, which we know is a tough event with a lot of Pro Tour players. Team Shambles would like to welcome Thomas Hums.
I can't believe you separated them.
Well, I didn't have much choice. You guys took all of my picks.
No, that's a good pick for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me just, maybe there might be a little bit of strategy here. No, there's no strategy. Okay. So, we've mentioned him earlier. He, on our regular podcast, we mentioned this person. He actually, if you pay attention to our Instagram, was actually the winner of the Discmania Open Fantasy voting process, the picks. He won the gift card from BR. From Burlington, Ontario, 966 rated, 129 career events, Jeremy.
Wow.
Yeah. Team Shambles would like to welcome Chris Brown.
Yeah. Another good one. He's separating the Ontario power couples here, though, now.
Oh,
So,
good strategy. I actually was playing Glowy with Chris Brown last night, and he mentioned having won a fantasy draft of some sort. Now
Right.
it totally makes sense. Yeah.
There you
it's
go.
all coming together, hey? Yeah, so he got his gift card there. Daryl got that transferred over to him.
Yeah.
So that brings me back to me. I need my second MPO pick, and I've got a 998 rated player who's up 3 points from St. Catharines, Ontario. Only played 7 events this season, which hopefully means his body is rested and ready for the event. Took second at the Greater Niagara Falls Classic. Second only to an amazing disc golfer who just happens to be on the show with us tonight. No, it was not you, Daryl. And we're going to bring Andrew Leyland to Team J-POW. So what do you think, Chris, on that? Did he give you a run for your money, that tournament, or what?
Yeah. I was feeling good that tournament, but yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's a sleeper. He doesn't play many tournaments. He just had a son, I think last year, but he moved out to Victoria, BC for a while, and we just got him back at the end of last year, and phenomenal golfer. Was over 1,000 rated for a while too. So again, great sleeper pick.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah.
So Bobby Starbucks, you get 2 picks now.
Beautiful.
Be...
So last picks, right?
That'll be finishing up your picks. Yep.
Okay, so I think Leyland was on my list next too, so it's just showing that we do have the same list together here.
Hey, this
I'm
is
gonna
boding
go
well for me.
I'm gonna go down the list a little more than who's available, and I just played a tournament with this fella, young fella. This is a junior golfer still. Last weekend, he shot his first 1,000 rated tournament, and he has an insane amount of distance. I'm gonna go with Cardi Yeoman from Yarker, Ontario.
Wow, nice.
That's a great pick.
You can. I already like that sound Daryl made because that means you stole one from him.
Yeah. You talk about sorry, who were you just talking about? No, Andrew. We were just talking about Andrew being a sleeper pick. I thought Carter might have been my sleeper pick.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and he'll admit it too. If he does come into the weekend with his putting, working for him,
Yeah.
he absolutely can win this tournament. That's the difference maker. He's got 500 feet when he wants it, but
Right.
the putting is what's going to make or break his event.
Okay.
Sweet.
And then for my next pick, maybe I'll do one from the heart just to give it to somebody here.
Can't not pick with your heart.
I mean, fair enough. I think I have to go with.
Just think
Probably
about the
the
look
last-
on his face when he finds out you don't pick him.
Yeah, those
All
big
right.
those big eyes just looking up. Please pick me, Oz, please.
You know what? I'm going to go with it. All right. You can have Chris Tao for your next pick. I will not pick him. I'm going to go with an M1 who's chosen to move up for this tournament, winner of the Innova Rip in M1, and probably has a pretty good chance to at least podium at this event. I think the only lefty in the pro division, Brandon Wagensfeld.
Nice. Good pick. Well, and that fills out your team, which we will recap after we're all done the picks there, but it sounds pretty good to me. How's Team Bobby Starbucks feeling so far?
I feel like Brandon could surprise me, which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you guys, for two folks who live Edmonton, is that where you guys are from?
Yeah.
For two guys who live in Edmonton, you know way too much about Ontario disc golf, and I thought we were going to have a much easier time doing this.
Well, there
That's
you
good
go.
to hear. That's good praise.
Well, good for you, Daryl. But so for me, with my final pick, I need one more MPO player, and you've already led me down that path, as I have in front of me a 987 rated player who's up 12 points from Hampton, Ontario. 22nd at the Rip, which is pretty darn good, as we said, with the competition there. And if I have it correct, is also a pro beach volleyball player. So he's got that arm span, those wings, all of that stuff. Chris Tao, welcome to Team J Pow. Yeah.
Wow.
Officially breaking up the last power couple on the board. His partner is Alexandra Pauletta. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you
I
go.
didn't know
A
that.
lot of power couples out in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that would send it back over to me for my final pick.
Yeah, and I think it's your FPO pick that you have left, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good job you said that, because I was looking up somebody else. Okay, so for my final pick then, my final pick, not necessarily any reflection. We're going to go with a disc golf player a professional since 2020. Currently 884 rated. 59 career events, 11 career wins. Just coming out of a second place at Greater Niagara Fall Classic. 8th at the Innova Rip. Played down the Disc Golf Major.
Mm-hmm.
Team Shambles would like to welcome Kat Johnson.
Yeah, good pick. Nice way to cap it off, hey?
Yeah.
You know, Chris, when I was looking at Kat's history from this year, at the start of the year, she went and she played at the Samui Swine there. And I think that's Terry Miller's course that's in Thailand, I believe.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her and her partner, Cody, they went down there and made everyone extremely jealous because the weather was absolutely trash here. And you know what, though? She deserves it. Fantastic human being, Kat Johnson. So if for nothing but that, great pick. But she can surprise us all, too.
Yeah, and we've said it before, and we'll say it again for every event that we pick. Just because we're picking these players, we're not necessarily picking the players that are going to win. Any of our teams and any of the players that we know we didn't get a chance to pick could win on any given day. It's just the depth of field of professional disc golfers that we have.
So if you don't like the teams that we've picked, one of the things we ask our listeners to do is put out their team and see what it is. Put it in the comments so that we can see who you'd pick. Or another thing that's happened too, Chris, was so for nationals, we did all of our picks. And then we neglected to pick one of our local own players in Edmonton, one Riley Douglas. And then what he went and did was he went out and got on lead card for the final round and said, "Oh, you guys don't want to pick me? I'll show you what happens when you don't pick me." So use it as motivation.
Oh, so I shouldn't have picked Brandon. Sorry, Brandon, for picking you. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. All the picks are in. So what we like to do at this point is we're going to recap the teams, starting with the person who picked first and then picked second and then whoever picked third. So, Bobby Starbucks, you started off the picks. You want to give us a rundown of your team?
Yeah. All the way down?
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. I'm going to go with so my MPO team was I led off with Thomas Gilbert. Huge distance advantage and somebody who I think would probably have an even higher rating if he was allowed to play kind of home courses most of the time. But I think he's played 29 events this year, and he's ready to take down his second straight Ontario Championship.
Yeah.
Then I have Carter Yeoman, sleeper pick in MPO. He's 18 years old now, first year of college, and I think he's poised to win his first title. And then my sleeper pick, Brandon Wagensfeld, the lefty from Brantford, Ontario, or Brantford region. I think he could take it down. Then in Pro FPO, we have Alexandra Paletta and Alicia Hums, two players who I think could viably win this tournament if their games come together. They have all the tools, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid team.
I like the look of it.
Yeah, it's got second place written all over it.
Oh, really? Team Shambles, Chris, I'm going to need you on more regularly. You just got to help me keep this guy down a peg. But let's go with Team JPOW. So Team JPOW went a different route, and we got our FPOs out of the way early. And my two FPO picks are both amazing players and picks from the heart because I love them both. Rebecca Dawn and Colleen McInnes are my FPOs. And then after that, I'm going right back at her with Ezra Lockington. Ezra, this is your tournament, buddy. I know you got it. And then we got Andrew Leyland and Chris Tao on the team. And I don't know them very well, but I'm going to be following them this weekend. I'm going to know a lot more about them by the time the tournament's over.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good team.
What's it good for? Third place, apparently?
Well, it must be. Because the number one team, coming from Team Shambles, by luck or by crook. So we started off with Chantel Badinsky.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Zanini, my first two picks, both guests of the show, Jeremy.
Yes.
And we know what we say about people that come on our show.
That if Jeremy picks them, they win.
They win. Yeah. And then we went with Thomas Hums, Chris Brown, and then rounding out my picks with Kat Johnson.
Yeah, it's a good team too, Daryl.
Yeah, like we said, any of the teams can win on any given day, any podiums, everything like that. So lots of good teams, lots of good players to watch. The good thing about this is and this is the major point of why we're doing this, is listeners and followers of our show that may not know, Carter Yeomans, may not know an Andrew Leyland. Hopefully, if they're watching us and they vote for our team or whichever team they want to pick on Instagram, it'll inspire them to open up PDGA Live and be following along this weekend and watching those players. And it just gets those names in people's minds. And, hopefully that way we can inspire them to win, inspire people to follow them. Hopefully that'll get them sponsorships or whatever else it needs. We'll promote them on Instagram all over the weekend for the event. And when we'll do the recap on next Wednesday when we get the TD and the MPO and FPO winner.
Yeah, and if it doesn't do anything else than that, we had a lot of fun doing it. So, but we know that it definitely gets people watching, and that's what we want. So pay attention to the Ontario Provincials. Chris, what else do you got to say about this weekend event? Anything more we should know or when we're watching?
I hope all these players enjoy themselves. Worst case, Muskoka's beautiful. It's an awesome place to play disc golf, and we're all just out here to have some fun. I just want to thank you guys for doing what you do, which is caring so holistically about disc golf as a whole across Canada. It's awesome to see. I didn't know much about Chain Out before, honestly. I came on and I did my research today, and I was like, wow, it's refreshing. Someone cares about disc golf in BC and in Ontario and PEI, and that's awesome.
Oh, well, thank you for that, for sure. Well, and before we finish it off, the one thing we'll tell everyone is there will be that post. The 3 teams will be there. You can vote. So, Chris, get out there and make sure to tell all of your people to vote for your team. I'll do the same with mine. And if listeners want to put in their own team in there, all of those things is voting, putting your team in there. That's going to get you a chance to win the draw for the gift card, right, Daryl?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. We should just give a shout out to BR Disc Golf, the sponsor of the Chain Out Podcast Fantasy League. If we get
It's all about the points.
It's
So
all
it's
about
based
the
on
points.
the points.
If you get over 10 points, you get a $10 gift card. If anyone gets over 15 points, you'll get a $15 gift card. You don't have to vote on the winning team. As long as you vote on a team, as long as you put a vote down, you'll be entered into the draw to win that gift card.
That's right. Now, the last thing I need to solidify before we end this episode, Daryl, is if Oz and I, or Team Bobby Starbucks and I, want to make some trades, when is our trade deadline?
You're throwing this on me, Jeremy. Are we allowing this?
I don't know. Are you allowing it?
You're asking for double points and triple points on certain events coming to the end.
Yeah, but no, we're not doing that. All it is that if Chris and I decide that maybe we want to make a swap because our teams were just needed to be tweaked a little bit, is that something we're able to do? And what is our deadline?
So, I don't know, because now you're going to be twisting your teams to get Chris over 15 points or over 11 points.
Why would we do that?
Yeah. You know what?
Daryl, if you allow it, think of how much more proud you'd be of winning if you won in spite of that.
What a power move it would be if you won it all with that.
The shame that Jeremy would carry.
The pressure you guys are putting on me. Okay, I'll allow it. If you guys want to trade, but you have to trade
before the event starts,
I'll let you have one round.
One round even.
After the first round, as long as it's posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
The trade and the trade is agreed on by both sides. You can't just say that you're taking Chris's, or you can't give Chris one of your players if he doesn't want one of your players.
Okay.
There has to be an agreement between Chris and J-Pal.
Yep.
That you're taking the player or giving the player away. Is that okay with you, teams?
Yeah, and I think
Starbucks?
should we keep it pretty reasonable?
Trade
maybe,
or
what do we think?
Do you want to win by doing trades, or do you want to win on your own merit?
Oh.
Well, to be fair, it's a vacuum for me, so I haven't experienced it any other way. So with the trade, it wouldn't make any difference. So yeah, let's do it with the trade.
All right. And what do we say? Do we just have one trade? Is that what we get, or how many are you giving us?
No.
You're on the spot, buddy.
Yeah,
you know what?
This is all not. This wasn't scripted. This is all like. Okay, what? What do you say, Chris?
You know what? Let's nix the trade. You know why? I went down that trail in my head. I'll be giving someone up.
Yeah.
And it might not make them feel great, and so I'm going to keep my team.
Yes.
You know what? That's an awesome way.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it, because I love my team as well. All I would be doing was saying after that first round, if someone happened to be up ahead, we'd be moving them over just to stack a team. But you know what? We'll do it on our own. We can do it.
There you go.
I'm going to be following Brandon Wagensfeld with a golf cart, though, on the final day. Really making...
Putting positive vibes in his head and all of that stuff. Yeah. I love it.
Sure, positive, all ready to do to motivate him. Absolutely.
Drive him from his disc to disc. Don't overstress him. Like, keep his energy levels high. Keep him with the hot cocoa and whatever else he might need.
Yeah,
if you got Nico around, get Nico to get out there and get Nico to first announce him on the box, because I know that will work. And if Nico brings the mango slushies, all will be good.
Done. Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Chris, for being on the episode. We had fun having you on here.
And good luck this weekend, man.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.